Greetings from the Empowering Temple of Praise Church, currently being constructed, yes, at 3615 Reed Street, Fort Worth, Texas, 76119. If you want to send your seed, tithes, or offering, that's the address to send it to. We'll still get it. The building isn't there, but ETOP will still get it. I thank you in advance for your support of this ministry. Prayer has already been made. Let's go ahead and get into this word. Get you in and get you out. There is a word from the Lord in the gospel according to St. Luke. The gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 2, verses 1 through verse 7 from, you got it, the BSV version. Here is what is recorded. In those days, Caesar Augustus made a law that required a list be made of everyone in the whole Roman world, otherwise known as a census. It was the first time a list was made of people while Quirinius was governor of Syria. Everyone went to their own town to be listed, so Joseph went also. He went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea. That is where Bethlehem, the town of David, was. Joseph went there because he belonged to the family line of David, seed of Abraham. He went there with Mary to be listed, counted. Mary was engaged to him. She was expecting a baby. While Joseph and Mary was there, while they were there, the time came for the child to be born. She gave birth to her first baby. It was a boy. She wrapped him in large strips of cloth, then had to place him in a manger because, here it is, there was no room in the inn. There was no room in the inn. You already know the subject by which I'm going to use from which to preach. In the form of a question, do you have room? Yeah, look at your neighbor, look at your cousin, look at your Sancho, your wife, your husband, or your side piece, whoever you with. Just say, do you have room? Yeah, but I'm not talking about room for me. I'm talking about, do you have room for God? Do you have room for Christ? Especially this Christmas, after all we've been through, after all the hell that we had to go through, the question is, do you have room? And if your answer is no, something is wrong. Everyone ought to make room for Christ. All it takes is just a little bit of room. The thing I love about the God we serve is that He knows we're not perfect. He knows that, right? So because he knows we're not perfect, if you only seal your eternity in Christ, that's all that matters. There are folks wondering right now about, is this the end? Is we getting close to the end? Do you know they said that 100 years ago, that we getting close? And we are. But you can't measure it by putting time to it, because a minute is like 4 billion years to God. It's just like that. So we can't put our time on it. I think it's going to be in the next 3 years. We have no clue, no earthly idea. They thought that back then 100 years ago. Ooh, look at stuff happening now. This is crazy, the things that's going on in the world. 100 years ago? Yeah. So we're thinking that right now, right? Because of what we're living through, all the craziness that's going on. We're like, ooh, it's getting close to the end. But just think about it. If it's not, if God tarries Christ from returning, can you imagine all that? If the hell we going through right now, can you imagine what type of hell folks we going through if we're no longer here? Oh my goodness, I don't want to imagine. So I just got to believe we're close, right? Don't know when, but I know who. But the question still remains, do you have room? Because when I was looking at this message, short message too, by the way, I recall in the story of this woman, she had 2 young children, right? And she was in Tarjay's. She was in Tarjay's, and she was shopping. Then she left, went to Walmart, Wally World, And she was just shopping a while. Then she went to TJ Maxx, and then just shopping all these hours. She had the two kids, and the two little boys at that, and they wanted everything. Oh, Mama want this, Mama want that. Shop, be quiet, shut up. It was just running her ragged, and she was going to and fro. And then she went to another store, Marshall's, I believe, and she had to park like a mile away because there was just no parking spaces. And she was mad. She was just disgusted, and she finally got in the store because it was a line to get in the store, and she was like, some people don't have on masks, and this new virus out, and they ain't even vaccinated, and they just out. She was just mad, just frustrated. She was like, oh, here's what she said. She said, whoever started this whole Christmas thing need to be found, strung up, and tortured for making us go through this every year. And then this old mother heard her, right? So mother said, sugar, don't worry, because we already crucified him over 2,000 some odd years ago. Well, I love mothers, don't you? All that wisdom, the way they say things, I love it, I love it, love it. Yeah, we already, the man who started this Christmas stuff, we already tortured him. We already crucified him. That's what this is about. He's the reason for all the seasons, but specifically this one, especially. Why? Because it's a celebrity, a celebratory season of him giving to us. The greatest gift of all was Christ giving himself, a God manifested in the flesh, giving himself to us. Because without that, we were lost forever. But now, because of him, we're going to live forever. Well, you be like, well, the other folk going to live forever too. Yes, but I'm talking about in joy, in happiness, in glory, compared to hell. Why in the world would somebody want to go through hell and then go to hell? If you know that, inbox me and explain that to me. Why in hell do you want to live through hell, don't accept Christ, and go there? That doesn't make a bit of sense to me, but if you know the answer, inbox me, because I really want to know, why would somebody choose that over life eternal, forever, glory, happiness, no sickness, no pain, no heartaches, I just don't understand it. So don't be scared, and you're like, it's getting close to the end. Christians shouldn't be scared. We should be joyful. I'm sure you let the rapture happen. We ain't gonna worry about none of this nonsense on earth. So don't be scared of it. Just be joyful about it. Here it is. I love this because everybody should know that Jesus is a reason for all seasons, right? There are some folks that make excuses for not buying gifts during this time because they say, well, I don't believe in Christmas. Okay, watch this. Don't say Christmas. How about you just show your love for your children or your parents or your spouse by just buying them something? Well, I do it all through the year. Well, so do I. But a portion of love, watch this, a portion of your love, especially when it's unconditional, will say, even though I don't believe in Christ, must. Because that's what you're saying. I don't believe in Christ. I believe in the hypothetical, super conspiracy theories out there. But I got you. But unconditional love should say, this is what I'm going to do. I love my children, and I don't want them to feel bad, look bad, be down and out. I'm just going to show them that I love them. But let me tell you what my parents did to us when we were growing up. And I didn't understand it, but hey, that's how we were raised, right? We couldn't even say Christmas. My siblings may be watching this probably, yep, you're right. We couldn't say Christmas. On December the 25th in our household, growing up, it was called Toy Day. And later on, when I got on, I'm like, well, if it was Toy Day, how mom get a bracelet? That ain't no toy. That's neither here nor there. But that's what we had to call it. You don't say Christmas around here. It's Toy Day. We're going to get you 2 things from a dollar store. You pick them out. Yeah, I know I didn't know we were that poor, but hey, God, he was still good and blessed us to not miss a meal. But we cherish that, right? But later on, my parents recognized, well, it ain't about the name of something. That's what folks get mixed up, the name. I call it this. Some folks, I don't believe in Mother Day because the sun god and so all this just nonsense. You got the mother. You love your mother? Well, respect her on Mother's Day. I do it all the time. Okay, well, if you do it all the time, that's good. Keep doing it. Don't skip May. Oh my God. It's craziness, right? I got you. But love says, I'm still going to show my love for you as Jesus showed his love for us. That's what the spirit of this season is, the season of giving. Giving something to someone that you care about, that you love, that you cherish. It's not the amount of dollars something costs. I know there are going to be people up there, ooh, I bought this and I got this. I got you. But the thought of just giving something to someone that you love, like God did to us. I'm going to give myself in a manifested fleshly body because I love all of y'all. That's God, the greatest gift of all. And if you do that, you are showing the love that God wants us to show to our neighbors and to our family. Here it is. I titled this, Do You Have Room? Because the Bible says in the passage that I read that there was a census, right? It didn't say census, but that's what it was. All the people had to be counted. Caesar ordered everybody to be counted. The census started way in the Bible days. It wasn't just nothing new. Everybody to be counted, right? So everybody had to go to their town where they were from and be counted. Well, Bethlehem was a small town where Jesus was born. Probably a few hundred people. Small town. Well, when everybody had to return, the town wasn't expecting all them people. But God already knew that. It's already was foretold and seen that this is where he was going to be born. The King of the Jews was going to be born in a manger, even before it happened. So you see how God orchestrates stuff in our lives? He does it. If he ain't orchestrated, you ain't been paying attention. This thing happened so that this thing could happen, so that this thing could happen, and that's why that happened. And then you go back and look, and you see how God orchestrate things in our lives all the time. God knew that there would be, Caesar ordered a census, because I want it to be crowded. Because I don't want my son to be born in the inn. I don't want him in a hotel room. I don't want him in Holiday Inn. I don't want him in the what's that other inn? I don't want him in none of that. I want him to be born in a stable where the stinky, rotten, smelly animals are kept. That's what I want to be, the lowest of the low. Because I'm doing this for the folks I love. I'm going to sacrifice living in a hotel room, 5-star hotel, to make sure everybody else have some place to stay, to make sure everybody else have a future, to make sure everybody else have a life, and not just any life, but a life that's abundant. I want you to have not just life, but life more abundantly. That's what I'm going to do my part. I'm going to fleshly come down through a virgin, be born, and then I'm going to be crucified, talked about, slapped, spit on, mocked, beaten, stabbed, pierced, slashed with whips. I'm going to go through all that because I want a future for those I love. I'm going to sacrifice myself for somebody else. I love that, y'all. No room in the inn. There was no room in the inn intentionally because he sacrificed so that we could have room. That's why the question goes back, do you have room? Do you? Do you have room? If you ain't saying amen in the comments, you may have to think about it. Y'all, that's you and God. Y'all talk about that later. Here it is. Jesus was born in a stable, I say it, where animals were kept, right? Stinky, smelly. I mean, just think about that. Bible doesn't say specifically that there was a donkey in the stable with him or this. Pictures show that they were just by themselves. I'm not really sure. But the fact that he was born there, they didn't clean it out because when they went to the end, they said there ain't no room. But we got a little place around the corner there. You probably can sit in there. It's just got a little covering there now for you and your family. Joseph, the Bible doesn't say Joseph said, you know what? Somebody going to give up their room because my wife is pregnant. If there's somebody in here who's not pregnant in one of these end rooms, then they need to get out because my wife is pregnant. None of that. You don't hear about none of that, right? So what was Joseph's reaction? He was engaged. What would we do in that situation right now, right? You engage to your fiance whom you love dearly, and she's about to have a child. She's 9 months due in 2 weeks. And you like, oh no, this is the only place we can go. We can't go no other place. We got to come here because we were told to come here to be counted. Sir, I don't know what to tell you. Then you'll probably pull out your 45, your 40, something. Now somebody gonna get out one of these rooms. Cause my wife, my fiance ain't just gonna, we don't know how we would react. But Joseph, God chose Joseph for a reason as well. That's why I love the way God orchestrates stuff in our lives. It's all God sent or God allowed. He orchestrated. That's the only way it can happen. I'm going to allow that to happen or I'm going to orchestrate it to happen. Point blank, period. I love that, y'all. Joseph, calm, cool, collected. All right, babe, they ain't got no room. But he said there's a little manger out here. And, hey, we just going to trust God. I mean, the angel said it's king of the Jews. And Jesus going to be born. And his son gonna be born. We're gonna call him Jesus. He's supposed to save people from sin. So let's go ahead and go back off in here. Bible don't say Mary like this. Don't make no sense. How am my baby gonna be born in something like this? Out laying. Where am I gonna sleep? Where? None of that. Because God chose the right folk. Yeah. He put the right folk in the right position for those he loved. Oh, my goodness. Let me move on and get through with this. Matter of fact, I'm going to close with this right here. There's no, especially during this season, after all the stuff we went through the past year, stuff we went through the past 4 years, everybody know I'm served 29 years military. I'm still appalled at some of my fellow men and women who went to try to overthrow the government. I'm still appalled. I'm still appalled. It bothers me, even to this day. But here's the deal. This season right now that we're in, he's the reason for all season, but this season right now, this is what you need to make sure you do. You need to love unconditionally. If you have someone who's your partner, who's your wife, who's your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your fiance, love them unconditionally. And here's the other thing. If you are engaged to be married, why be engaged for 5 years? That doesn't make a bit of sense. When I'm talking to Christians, if you're not a Christian, it doesn't pertain to you. But if you're a Christian, number one, if you're engaged and you said yes for the female, or maybe sometimes female ask a man. I heard that happen. I'm not familiar with that, but I heard that happen. Ask a man, will you marry me? And he said yes. I got you. But whatever the case may be. Did she get on her knee? Anyway, but here's the deal. If you ask someone to marry you and they said yes, why? What are y'all waiting on? And this ain't to no particular person. God just told me to say this. What are you waiting on? If you're a Christian, you evidently had to ask God for that person, for that man, for that woman. If you ask God, he said, yes, that's the right one. What you waiting on? It's like, I'm going to wait and see. God, like I told you, yes. Now, if you didn't ask God, keep waiting. Only if you ask God. Love unconditionally. What else? Love your family. Love your wife, your husband. Spend time with them. I say that, spend time with them. Make time. There's no such thing as I work too much. Because what's going to happen, the enemy will creep himself in by you saying, I'm working too much. And next thing you're going to be on Cheaters. You're going to be on Cheaters. And he's going to be showing you a laptop, a little iPad. Okay, Mr. Johnson, you called us for a reason. Are you ready to find out? Come on. You don't want to do that. And then the first thing that the folks say when they call is, you never have time for me. You work too much. You can make time. I don't care if you work 12 hours a day. 12 hours every day. I work 7 days a week, 12 hours. That's what the answer be. I work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for us to have stuff. If they don't have you, the stuff doesn't matter. Everybody needs companionship. Everybody needs some type of love. Everybody wants to feel love. And I said, well, I'm going to be like Paul by myself. That's why Larry running out the back door, because you want everybody to think that you just going to be by yourself. Listen here. Love unconditionally. Treat everybody fairly. Treat them fair. Quality time with your spouse, your significant other. Make time. Don't make excuses for not being able to make time. Make time, because the enemy will creep his head in there just a little crack because you call yourself working your butt off for the other person. Now, you can still work your butt off, but you make time. Don't give them, let the enemy put in their head that somebody else can make time. They get the money, but this person get all the affection. No, that's too easy. That's what the enemy wants. Also, live your life to the fullest. I'm talking to Christians now. I'm talking straight Christian. Live your life to the fullest. You must enjoy life. Enjoy life. All the stuff that's happening in the world, you will be a fool not to enjoy life. Do things. I love to see on Facebook when people are going in different places. Oh, now they're showing pictures. Oh, I'm in Florida. Or I'm in Cancun. I'm in Jamaica. And I clap for them, love the picture, like it, enjoy, be safe. I love that because people are enjoying life. It's even better when a husband and wife is doing it, right? Because that's God's ordinance. That's what he ordains. By this shall a man leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Enjoy life. And don't ever think that you have your wife tied around your finger. Or don't ever think that you have your husband tied around your finger that they'll never leave. The enemy loves to eat that up and put thoughts in their head, whether it's on their job, whether it's at the gas station. All it takes is just one little psst for the snake to come in. Here it is. Take one day at a time, but live life to the fullest. But always know that you could be here today. I know some of y'all say gone tomorrow. No, and gone tonight. Yeah. There are a lot of people that's here this morning and won't be here tonight. And it could be an accident on the road. It could be an accidental shooting. It could be an accidental medication intake. It could be a drunk driver. It could be a fallen object. It could be a broken bridge. It could be a medical diagnosis. It could be, you can name it. It could be a lot of different things. That's why you need to live your life right now. Stop waiting. When I turn 70, I'm going to start living. Who said you're going to make it up there? Who said you're going to make it to 70? Well, I'm 50 now. And you could be 69 and it's not guaranteed you're going to make it to 70. Enjoy life. I'm telling you. You got to make room. Do you have room? Yes, you do. If you don't, you need to make room. Here it is. Last thing, I'm going to leave you with this. This man had this special golden wrapping paper, right? Had this special golden wrapping paper. You know the wrapping paper? You know, I'm a dollar store wrapping paper guy. I kind of wrap pretty good. But I get that wrap from the dollar store. That's just me. Y'all probably say y'all get y'all from high price stores. That's y'all. But this one brother, he got his wrapping paper from a high price store, Neiman Marcus or something. It's a golden wrapping paper. And he got it just so he could put his wife's gift special gift in it, right? So he got the wrapping paper. He worked 12-hour days, making sure he could pay for this big special gift he got for his wife. And he put the wrapping paper up on the counter. And Christmas Eve, he come home because he's getting ready to wrap his gift that he finally paid off for his wife. And he noticed that the wrapping paper is all torn up except for this little box, shoe box, that had wrapping paper wrapped up like a kid had done it. So he said, oh, what happened? Honey, yes. What's it? Did you let our baby get the wrapping paper? She said she wanted to wrap something special. But not, she could have used other paper, not had the golden wrapping paper for something special. Well, you didn't tell me because it was a surprise. Well, she said she wanted to use it. So he was mad, furious, because he paid extra money for that wrapping paper. He said, this don't make sense. I'm mad at you. Why you use the other wrapping paper? Because, Daddy, this was special. I know, but it wasn't, you could have used, why you use all of it? Because I had to get it perfect. But it's a lot of wrapping. He just said, oh, okay, forget it. Oh, he's mad. He said, oh, Daddy is mad right now. So he goes in the room, he's mad. He's like, babe, I'm going to have to wrap your gift into a regular paper. She said, that's fine. It ain't about the outside. It's the inside they count. That's another sermon right there. But she said, that's all right. So in the morning, Christmas Day, he said, hey, baby, here it is. She opened it. Oh, thank you, honey. Yeah. She said, why you feeling sad? Because I wanted it in the golden wrapping paper. It cost more money. And then as he was speaking, his daughter, 5-year-old little girl, comes and say, Daddy, here is yours. And it was wrapped in the golden wrapping paper, right? The shoebox. He's like, he felt bad. He's like, oh, really? He's opening it up. He's like, oh, man, I kind of feel a little bad that I was getting upset with you, honey. And he opened it up, and he opens the shoebox, right? He said, I was kind of... Now he's mad again. Because she used the wrapping paper for her gift to Daddy. He opens it, and it's empty. So now he's mad again. He put his hand on his head. He said, oh, are you serious? Yes, Daddy, it's for you. He had to control himself. He said, oh, man. He said, honey, the wrapping paper costs more than... He said, oh, never mind. Whenever you wrap something, you're supposed to have something on the inside. It's never supposed to be empty, baby. Oh, God, this is crazy. And while he was moaning and groaning and being mad, watch what his daughter says. Daddy, but it's not empty. Watch this. She said, it's not empty, Dad. He said, what you mean it's not empty? She said, I blew a lot of kisses into it until it was full. Oh, man. I blew a lot of kisses into it until it was full. And then I closed it so that they would come out only when you opened it. That touched me right there, saints. Of course, the father was crushed to pieces, right? He began to cry. He began to cry, and he got on his knees and hugged his little girl, and he apologized to her. And he said, I'm so sorry. I should not have acted the way I reacted to you. He's crying now. He's tears in his eyes. He said, I apologize, baby, for saying what I said, getting mad at you. I didn't know. And it's all daddy's fault. I love you dearly, unconditionally. He just going on crying while she had tears in her eyes. And here's what I want you to know. That all of us have an individual wrapped golden present that God gives to us every single day. And you know what that is? Life. You have the future, you have the past, and then you have the gifts. And that's why it's called the presence. Because every day we wake up, it's another gift from God, otherwise known as the present. That God will continue to bless and keep you is my prayer. Don't forget your seeds, tithes, and offering. And on behalf of Lady Carla, myself, and the rest of the ETOP family, I want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Until we meet again. Till next time, God bless you.